righty.
Right.
Oh, baby.
Baby karma.
Baby karma. There's gonna be baby sounds, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this guy on a boob, and then we can start. Hold on. Okay, we're back.
Okay, I'm back.
Family Karma, episode 2, season 3.
Season 3.
Oh my gosh! So we got to see the rest of this wedding, which was incredible. Oh wait, you know what? I have to say, today is our 100th episode.
No.
It is.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
Wow, bring out the cake.
Woo! I wish we had like streamers and like party noises.
I think of like the cake I want. I really love like a chocolate with vanilla frosting.
Oh my, can someone send us a chocolate with vanilla frosting cake?
And like
seriously?
I'm trash. So I love Duncan Hines.
Oh my, Duncan Hines is great.
Ugh.
But have you had a Costco cake?
Yes, the Costco sheet cakes.
They're so good.
So good.
And they're so like affordable in this time of inflation.
And they're big. And I remember because at one point they took the Costco sheet cake away and I think they brought them back.
They took them away? Like, why?
They discontinued them. I remember reading like a couple years ago because we used to get one every year because our block party is around Carver's birthday.
Yeah.
And so we would bring out the Costco cake and be like, everyone. And then it'd be like...
Because it feeds like an army too.
Yeah. And I think the tricky thing is there's people in Boulder that don't like sugar. So it's like, just watching them maneuver around the cake, which is fine. It's like to each their own.
Yeah, they're like, I'll have a slice that's like the size of my finger. And it's like...
And I'm like, meanwhile, I have like 2 slices and then I bring it back inside and then I'm just like scooping it.
Oh my God, it's sitting on the counter and you're like taking a fork and taking bites. I have
and
so
you're
been
literally
there.
like, I'm going to take this rose and just shove it in my mouth. A mouthful of like pink frosting.
There's nothing like a good grocery store sheet cake. And
if you want to make someone feel special, give them the rose on the sheet cake.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just be like, this. I got this for you.
Yeah.
So happy 100 episodes to us.
Yes. Wow. What a feat.
It feels like a really big accomplishment. And over these past 2.5, almost 3 years, like we've had a lot of great interviews and content with like South Asian creative people and pop culture talks and all of that. So please go back and listen to some of those because I think they're great. And yeah, and now we're here on season 3, and I've been posting on Instagram because I went to the IMDb page of Family Karma. And season 3 only has 7 episodes listed. And I got really scared and like made all these posts about it.
And then what happened?
Well, someone DM'd me, thank goodness for our IG fam, and said she found a comment that Anisha made on a post. I don't even know what post it was at some point recently, where she said that like there's going to be a lot of episodes this season. So I'm hoping that's true. And
I wonder, we know a producer and maybe we can text them to say like, is this just the ones that they've edited?
Yeah.
Like it got the green light to just like be signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah.
And they're still just working out like, yeah.
Exactly. And I saw... someone also said like I noticed the 7th episode date is like right before like the holidays when they'll stop running new content for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe they just haven't posted the dates for after that yet. But I looked at the Potomac schedule and they have like everything slated into January, February. But that could be because they're further into the season. I don't really know. But if it's only 7 episodes, like, is that even a season?
Well, we looked. So we were talking, you and I was like, well, I really want to look at Shaw's. Let's look at Shaw's. And so it said that Shaw's, including like a 2-part reunion, was 15.
Yeah.
So a proper season for them was like around 13 plus
episodes.
The reunion. But I think, to practice like what I'm trying to preach right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to look ahead. We're here. We're in Cancun.
Yeah. Okay.
The lighting is beautiful, Indra.
Oh my God. The lighting
again, get
is
me
phenomenal.
the lighting for my Zoom.
You know what? You're so right. I need to stop being so pessimistic.
No. And I'm not trying to. I had last night I had a rough night. I was crying all night, and yeah, it's a long story. We'll talk about it over wine, but
okay.
And I'm just but I came home. I want to say I came home, and I was. When you're just like, fuck this, fuck everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like so pessimistic, and I'm crying. And I was like, I know I have to watch Family Karma. Not that it was like a, whatever, but I was just like, I wanted to basically like roll up into a fetus and suck my thumb.
Yeah.
And listen to like Radiohead on repeat.
Yeah.
And honestly, Andrew sat down next to me.
Uh-huh.
We started watching.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'm not just saying this, I was cracking the fuck. Like, I forever want to see Vishal playing the drum.
Oh my God.
But, like,
on the
drunk,
like 15 shots in, like
Andrew was cracking up too, and he's like, Vishal, he said, quote unquote, Vishal was made for reality television.
Okay, you know what? Have you been seeing those reels and TikToks of like the new Taylor Swift song that's like, hi, it's me.
Oh yeah, it's me.
I'm the problem.
I love that song.
Me.
Anti-hero.
I was like, maybe I should make one of like that, like little
Seriously?
scene of Vishal.
No, and it's like that, him falling off the DJ, him humping the sand with his shirt off, like covered in like the like colorful like powder.
Oh my God.
Like it was just like
him calling Richa Benjamin Button. Like, can
it's
we
button
just
ass.
No,
it was like no, okay. I wrote it down. It was okay. It was
Mrs.
it was like
Benjamin Button-ass. It was I don't even.
It was like, yeah. And then I wrote, this isn't an infomercial for wedding vendors. I think that was Amrit. But like, I was just like, dude, why would people sleep on this?
I don't know exactly. And why is Bravo like, okay, I know I'm trying to turn it around and be positive, but
no, and I'm not asking you. I think I'm just like so low right now. I'm just like, Vishal is just.
When I see the promotion they do for other shows, like Southern Hospitality is coming out starting in a few weeks, and they have already had more promotion than Family Karma will probably get like for the entire season.
Girlfriends of fucking Paris.
Oh, fuck that shit. Apparently, like, I didn't watch one episode.
No, I couldn't.
And I have heard it's probably gonna get canceled.
And it's so sad because I wanted to go to Paris, like this is what we do with these casts is like we go to Miami with Potomac, which if you're not watching that Potomac episode in Miami, oh my God, I was cracking up at that. Did you see it yet?
I'm catching up. I'm
my
like
gosh.
right before
Potomac
they go.
is on fire, and Candace.
Oh my gosh.
Candace is a queen. I'm sorry. Candace is everything. And it's just like we dip into Bravo because we want to go somewhere with the people we love. And it's like, that's what's going on. Like Vishal, it's like, I admit I wanted to toss back shots. Like I was like ready.
Oh, I wanted a Vishal. Like I was ready. I love how like he's like telling Bali at the bar, like, don't tell Lopanti about this. She's like, why are you trying to get me in trouble with Lopanti? Like, stop.
Oh my gosh. And there's something like we've always seen in Vishal. There's this like, I don't want to say little boy because I don't want to demean him, but there's this innocent, nefarious energy of like taking the last cookie from the cookie jar like 30 minutes
and
before
shoving
dinner.
It in his the entire thing in his mouth, like
and running away, and that's like, and it's like we don't see. I think it's like we get in Bravo, we see like as the seasons go on, people kind of get jaded and into their fame. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like we haven't seen that with Vishal. He's still like sweet.
Oh, yes.
Innocent, I'll say, and just like ready for a good time, maybe to the detriment of like his And we're going to jump ahead, but when he woke up in bed.
Oh my God.
I thought it was the day before his wedding.
Oh, no, it was like the day after he did his nuptials, and then it's like him, and then you see Amrit like in bed. Oh my gosh, unreal. So like Bali says that it feels like a frat party, and that like Vishal is so darling to everyone who knows him, but like sometimes it can be a bit much for other people. But I feel like everyone at that wedding knows Vishal, probably, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but there was a little bit of eye rolling. Anisha's like says she's getting a sunburn, so she goes back to her room during the beach party. She calls Chitra Auntie, and Chitra Auntie says she couldn't come because she's taking care of her parents.
That's incredible.
And it makes me sad because I feel like maybe we won't see Grandpa this season, which is a loss for us all. But
yeah,
he is getting older, and I could see Grandpa being like, fuck those cameras, get them away from me. Like,
yes. What did he like? The Big Mac? No. What did he have
the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. That email should be like, I don't know. It should be put up in a museum. It should be in the club.
Like, do we have anything Family Karma that was in the clubhouse?
Yeah, that email needs to be front and center. It is pure gold. And then this brings up an interesting thing, which people DM me about, which we didn't discuss last time, but we have talked about. So no sign of the Patels. None. Mm-mm. Not at this wedding. Not on the show.
Not in a FaceTime.
No.
They're not living on any screen, whether it's their screen in the phone or our home television screen.
We saw a throwback picture that had Sean in it, and it made me a little sad because I feel like those kids grew up together.
Has anyone reached out to you about anything that they've heard?
I think around the actual time of the wedding, like the Patels, there was another wedding that they had in their family that they needed to attend. I remember you
saying that. Yeah.
But it's just like, it just seemed to me like Reshma Auntie and Kalpana Auntie were like sisters kind of who had come to this country around the same time and brought up their families in Miami together. It seems like there is some strain going on, which I've said before, but I'll just say it again. I don't know. Like, I think Kalpana Auntie might be at some of the auntie gatherings coming up in future episodes.
Okay.
I know. We should just ask her. I feel like when we interviewed her, she was so forthcoming about everything.
Yeah, and I think that's something. I think with certain Bravo casts, you get a little smoke and mirrors, and talking for the sake of being controversial. But I feel like with people we've talked to in the Family Karma cast, they've been frank, but because that's just their personality trait.
Yeah, and I feel like they want to be real, and they kind of stick to that, which I appreciate. Okay, so then they kind of show like Lopa Auntie's like getting down at the beach party,
and Lopa Auntie has never looked better.
She looks
crisp white Oxford, reminiscent of like Carolina Herrera, the designer, and she had like this like pink lipstick that was just like so vibrant on her, and she actually seemed like she was in good spirits. Not saying that she seemed like she was having so much fun, like and like this is what I see is like on Instagram, like I'll see behind the scenes type of stuff with her, like the Family Karma premiere, like she was at Reshma Auntie's house, like, like there's clear, whatever drama there is there, it's clearly not enough for them not to like be around each other or even like each other. So it's sort of like they're definitely playing that up for the show. And I guess like it's just hard because we do have these like she is a strong woman, and I feel like if there's a strong woman on reality television versus strong men, the female is going to get like 5 strikes against her instead of like 2.
Yeah.
And I feel like because I see so many people coming after her
on
Twitter, and I think it's like a little bit of a double standard,
Absolutely. I mean, I put up like a clip of her from episode 1, and I would say at least half of the comments were like, she's the worst. Like, I hate her.
Yeah.
And then a lot where like they love her too. But it's like, yeah, I think that's a really good point that you made. Okay, so the part where like Lavina auntie and Suresh uncle Amrit's parents are talking about like their wedding night and like consummating the marriage, the look on Amrit's face was
my gosh, I know. And like that was it a black and white picture, just like a 70s photo of her on her wedding night? It's just incredible how young they look when they were married, like all of these aunties and uncles. It's just like
they went stunning too, right?
Oh my god. Yes, them and Brian's parents, when they showed that photo of them.
Oh my God. So cute. How
I'm just like, so I don't understand why Brian's mom hates the new cast members so much.
Well, I don't know either.
Have you heard anything?
Remember the comment she made about the jewelry?
Yes. And you said that was very auntie.
It's very auntie. And I have a feeling it has to do with like, because Avni wears like a headpiece in every single like
she's
event.
Stunning.
She is stunning. And I think Dharma auntie has something against that. But I don't know. There's something... I feel like she's worried about the age difference. She's talked about that like several times, right?
Is it 7 years?
Yeah. Avni's in her is 37, and I think Brian just turned 30.
Okay.
So, I mean, a 37-year-old woman is like, she knows what's up, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and I'm not saying Brian doesn't know what's up.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. Brian, like, I just don't know where Brian is at, really.
Right. And it's interesting because we haven't gotten there yet to check in where he is in this point of his life, because we've been in Cancun at the wedding.
Yeah, and he's just having fun. You know, he's at a wedding, like,
which you
taking
should.
The shots. So,
yeah.
So, then there's like a little scene of Raj uncle saying, Monica's dad saying that he doesn't want to pressure Monica and Rishi at all, but in the same breath being like, but I also would love to be there for the engagement and all this stuff.
It's a lot. I don't know. And maybe it's editing or whatever, but I do feel like from a bird's eye view of someone who's not in their day to day, it was interesting seeing his reaction and his demeanor while talking about engagement. And I couldn't even imagine that pressure he's under from her and her family and the community to do that.
You mean Rishi?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I think, like, I said this last time, but I'll just say it again. It's like, this is a thing in all South Asian families. It's like, it's almost like you're not a person until you're married. And so it's like, once you hit a certain age, it's like everyone is asking you about your relationship status. Like, and if you're in a relationship, it's just like, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? Like, even more than the question, like, are you going to have kids? It's like, when are you getting married? And it's just like, I don't know. It is, I think, like, some of us are able to shrug that off and just be like, fuck you, it's my life. But it can be hard to, like, when everyone's coming at you with this, it's like, it can be hard to just shrug it off. And so I think we're clearly seeing that with Rish. Monica DM'd me and just to confirm the age difference between Monica and Rishi, because it's less than we thought. They're only a year and a half apart in age.
Okay.
And they actually graduated the same class from high school.
Oh, wow.
So they're actually not that different in age.
No.
But he is the younger of the two. So, but I think there's been a lot of like, oh, there's such a huge age gap. Like, I think even we said that. And she's like, it's not actually.
And we apologize. Yeah. Well, and I think also it's just, it's hard because we followed Monica's journey from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I feel like we don't quite as an audience know Rishi. And so we do see him as like, not as, I don't want to say mature because that's not the right word, but Monica, you know, since we've met her, she's kind of been like, you know, I want to get married. I want to live this life.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that projected as much about marriage and children with Rishi. You know what I mean?
We just don't know Rishi as well from the show, which is, and I feel like they're setting up this, like, I feel bad, like he's getting a bit of a villain at it. I feel like, you know, and it's like, I just don't see that for him. He just doesn't strike me as that type of person, but we'll see how it goes. I love how Brian like talks about astrology a lot. Did you notice he was like, I'm a Libra. He's like into astrology. I feel like he pays attention to that.
That's incredible.
Is kind of funny. And so after the holy party, they show Rish and Brian like showering off together, which is so funny.
That's another thing. Is it because they were drunk? They just went in there and didn't take off
they all had their clothes on. They were just trying to get the colors off because it was like, I don't know. There's several layers of color that get stuck on you. So you like, there's lots of rinsing that needs to happen.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool that they did the holy colors, even though it wasn't holy. Like, what a cool visual. What a cool way
to, and to bring in that cultural aspect into, you know, something like just a wedding, and also Mexico.
Yeah, totally.
An already colorful place, just adding that dynamic and dimension.
Definitely. Brian says he's going to fund his own wedding, but if his parents want to throw him a little something, he'll take it. I'm just grabbing things that I just wrote all these notes down. Okay. So what did you think of like when all the uncles got together to give Vishal advice?
Yes, it was like, he looked like he was almost cross-eyed. You know what I mean? When like they're just talking at him. You know, I thought it was a really sweet moment because I don't know. I think there's just something incredible. And I think it's the older I get where I'm just looking more toward people that are older than me for like their life experience.
Yes.
And so like for me, like I really valued that. It was like, of course, like, you know, it was a laugh, but like I was just like, yeah, it's like there's people that, you know, who are older than us and wiser than us and have lived these experiences.
Yep.
And especially in Western culture where we dismiss kind of like the older population.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, and I'm just really valuing in my later years just being like, yeah, let's like, I want give the aunties and uncles like the screen time, like 50-50.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, it's so true. I think in Western culture, we really don't take care of our elderly or like respect them as much as we should.
Yeah.
And
it's like almost we like, is the word infantilize them or I don't know.
Yeah, infantilize. Totally. But I think Vishal was just so like at that point, after 3 days of like heavy partying, I would be like, don't talk to me. Like I can't. I need to be taking a nap right now or something.
I wrote down that they started hair and makeup at 7:23 a.m.
Well, because okay, so this is the thing: is this auspicious time for a ceremony? I think we talked about this way back in our Vishal and Richa wedding episode, but this is a huge thing. Is like there's no, you know, like in Western culture here in the States, like people typically have their ceremonies like in the afternoon,
like 5 p.m. Yada yada.
And you just like choose a time of day that works well for you. But like with astrology and in Hindu culture, it's a lot of like, okay, choose, like there are these auspicious times of day based on like the moon cycle and all sorts of stuff like that. So for them, it's 9:30 a.m. after 3 days of partying. So they like, Richa said, I think she had to wake up at 5 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
On her wedding day to be ready.
Yeah.
And she looked fucking flawless.
Yes.
Oh my God. I loved the color of her lehenga so much. It was so beautiful.
So is that traditional, the red?
Yeah. So she said, she was talking about Punjabi traditions, but red is like a common Indian bridal color like throughout India. But I guess it's particularly so in Punjabi culture. Maybe it seems like Sindhi culture, which a lot of the cast members are, like maybe it's actually pink because Vishal was wearing pink.
Right.
Which I thought they looked great together. And
we've never seen a man on Bravo with a headscarf.
No, so with I feel turban?
Like that is a turban. Sorry for the lack.
And he had it hand wrapped.
I mean, and it's like we are groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Like so many aspects with this show.
Totally.
On Bravo and in reality television.
And it was nice how they showed all these customs. Like one custom I didn't know about, probably because I've never been married, and it might just be a Punjabi thing. I am half Punjabi, but is to wear the churis, which are the bracelets, the bangles
that she was wearing.
Yeah, the Lopanti says you put them on the night before, and then you're supposed to wear them for at least 11 days.
I saw her, remember in the preview, she was still, when she was like chastising Vishal.
Yeah. And Lopanti said she wore them for 3 months when she got married, which is wild. I don't know if I could do that. But that was an interesting custom that I actually didn't know about. But yeah, so then they're doing this barat, which is the procession into the wedding, which is typically the like, you see this a lot, like a man coming in on a horse. But Richa, being the progressive woman she is, she's like, I want to come in too. We'll have a dueling barat on boats, which is so great.
It's incredible.
Loved it. Like having all of your friends with you in the boat and like showing up. I thought that was a really great idea. Lopanti gets a little emotional when she sees Richa's dress. And so then they're at the actual ceremony, and when they say it's 3 hours, they are not exaggerating.
That is, I didn't know about that.
Typically, like the Indian weddings I've been to in India, like this auspicious time thing again, like sometimes the auspicious time is like 2 a.m. So like literally the actual ceremony will just be like close family will be there because no one else is interested. But like your guest list is like 700 people.
Wow.
So, like people are there to party. They're not there to like see your marriage ceremony.
Have you sat outside in the heat for a wedding that long? For a ceremony, I mean?
No. That looked... At 9:30 a.m. it was 99 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
And they're wearing these thick fabrics and like elegant clothing and full makeup and hair and shit. The popcorn was a nice
I was going to say the popcorn was incredible.
Yeah. It was like that. Like Vishal knew. What's become clear to me watching this wedding is Vishal wants people to have a good time.
Yes.
Like his number one thing at this wedding was not really about focusing on him and Richa's relationship. It was like, I want all my guests to have like the best time while they're here.
Or like incorporating the fun that they have as a couple and like extending that energy around and the magic.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the shot of Nicholas falling asleep.
Oh my gosh. They did him dirty.
No, but I thought it was cute. I thought it was endearing. I thought it was so funny. Brian's just like, I'm still drunk. Like,
I know. Oh my gosh.
Everyone is like, Darmonti's like, I was sweating balls. Like, it was so funny. And Anisha kind of talks about how when she was growing up, she like wanted a really big wedding with like 500 people, and Chitraranti says her wedding had 2,000 people at it.
I can't even.
Which is like, that's the most I've ever heard.
That's like a small town in Colorado.
Oh,
that's more than a small town in Colorado.
That was like the size of my entire college. That was my high school. Like,
my high school didn't even have that many people in it.
Yeah, it's wild. Like the fact that you could have that many guests. And that's just common in India. Like my mom had like I don't even know. She told me once, but it was like hundreds upon hundreds of people.
Oh my gosh. And you have to feed them?
You feed them, and not just once, for like 4 days or longer.
My gosh.
So like it's intense. Like the wedding
intense.
Industry in India is crazy. So like, and this was like one of a pretty good replica, I feel, of it in a Western context, like on a Mexican beach, which was kind of cool. So then they show the speeches, and Amrit has like a really nice speech, but the speech that brought down the house was Lopanti's speech. I cried. I shed a tear.
It was so incredible.
I mean, she really, you could tell she like really meant what she was saying,
and she loves her daughter so much.
Oh, she really. I mean, it's like, in some ways it feels like, and I don't mean this as like a shade or anything, but it's like it's not all she has. It's like the most important thing that she has, and she knows that, and like their bond is like really sweet, I feel like. So yeah, that was really, really nice. I love how Anisha, she made this commentary. She was like, you know, we're all like crying, and then of course she tells us to fuck off.
Yes, that was incredible.
And I was like, yep, that's pretty much how it went down. And then Vishal's speech, which we've already
gosh,
the cringe worthiness of what
and
was
public
happening.
Speaking's not for everyone. No, you know, to grant it, and he knows he's in front of cameras, and that's the thing. Like I keep on thinking. Is like I feel like if it were me and I had cameras on me and I was at my wedding, I would just kind of lube up, like, you know, the nerves a little bit.
So I have a question for you. At your wedding, did you and Andrew prepare vows or like things to say to one another in front of everybody? Because I know not everybody does that.
No, I mean, our wedding was probably 20 minutes long, 15.
Okay, yeah. So it
was literally...
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think I've said like we got married on the pier in Brooklyn, and it was just literally like, you know, strangers were around, and my friend married us, and it was 15, 20 minutes, and then that's it.
Okay. So like, but like often people will decide that they want to like write their own vows or whatever. And it sounds like they had decided to do that at this reception. And Vishal didn't prepare anything. And I'm just going to say, this is a PSA for people who are deciding to do this at their weddings. Like, even if you can't, like, come up with a speech, like, find a quote or, like,
find a poem
and just read that. Because otherwise you're going to stand up there and say a bunch of shit and then call your wife Benjamin Button ass.
And it's going to be on video somewhere or on Bravo television forever.
Oh my God. That was very cringy.
You know what I'm sure happened? I forget if he said this. I'm sure he's like, you know what? The day before, when everything's raw, I'm just going to like write it out. And I'm sure obviously we saw the day got away with him.
Yeah. But like, but then to add insult to injury, he goes on to like thank everybody there and list every single vendor and like for like 10 minutes or whatever. And it's like, Vishal, your priorities. Let's get them straight.
Do you think he had to?
No, I think he just did it because
he was nervous.
Yeah. I think he just like, I think this ties back into what I was saying about him really wanting to like everyone have a good time.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like, I need to be gracious to everyone who's here, who's made this happen. Kind of like leaving Richa in the dust a little bit, you know? I wonder if that's going to be the source of their argument. I don't know. But yeah, it just seems like, I don't know. So that was cringy. I mean, the fact that he wakes up in Amrit's bed on his wedding night, like, not, you know, after 10 years, you don't have to have sex on your wedding night, whatever. No. But you might want to like be with your wife in the morning.
You might want to, and I'm wondering, what was it? And we'll find out. Was it because she was so disgusted? She was like, I'm out of here.
I don't know. We don't know yet.
We'll find out. I guess we'll find out.
I have a feeling it was like something like blackout situation. I don't know. Like, I'm sure there was an argument. That always happens when there's too much alcohol involved.
So watch your alcohol intake, folks.
Yeah.
If you're getting married.
And then they show Anisha like saying thank you to Vishal and Richa again. She's always approaching them when they're like eating, I've noticed. And they were like, yeah, okay, whatever. Then they show Monica and Rishi talking about marriage again. And he's clearly just like not into it, right? Like, not ready.
I think
not ready.
He's just not ready. And I think, especially I couldn't even imagine like knowing that the cameras are there and being confronted and trying to just act natural. And it was a tough watch, and I'm curious to see, because we heard they broke up. I'm curious to see how it pans out from there.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see because, and I'm curious to see how they show it on the show versus like, hopefully we can maybe get Monica on to have her kind of tell us herself what happened once we know more. But yeah, I'm very curious because I feel like what they're teasing in the trailers and everything is like maybe not how it actually goes down.
Yeah, I think it's hard, especially like, I don't know. We don't know if he cheated, but like throwing the cheating word around, especially on national television.
That's heavy.
It's, if he moves on for Monica, that's going to stay with him.
We're going to say here, can I just say for both of us that we're not subscribing to that until more information is given.
Yes, we need more information. I think that's
we need more
information.
And then they show Amrit and Nicholas talking about their own wedding and how it's gonna, like, how are they gonna navigate incorporating traditions where typically there's a female and a male, or a woman and a man, or like a heterosexual relationship, and how will they kind of navigate that for their own wedding, which I'm very excited to see, like, how they do that, because we know that they do. And we saw a bit of it on like social media when the wedding happened. But I think it's going to be really nice to see their wedding. I think it'll probably be the end of the season will be their wedding.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting because I was actually thinking about last night. I was like, so is it going to be like 2 episodes? If it is 7, then it's going to be like 2 for their wedding, and then the bookend is going to be 2, and then that means we only get 3 episodes in Miami.
Yeah, like
and
that,
no group trip. It doesn't make sense.
It
doesn't make sense.
It just can't be, right? Like someone said, like, so this show's going to get like
is it a wedding show now?
Like the Beverly Hills gets 3 reunion episodes, and Family Karma only gets 7, like regular, like. It just seems like it's too short, because even season 1 was 8 episodes. Season 2 was 9. So I'm really hoping they just haven't put them all up yet on IMDb.
And it's also, it's like I have totally dropped off of Salt Lake City because
I'm not watching it.
I tried to skip a couple episodes, and it started out with I don't know, Heather's choir practice, and it was so manufactured, and it was just like, it was just so produced, and I was like, I just can't do that and
I know and I'm hearing that like on all the podcasts and just in general on Instagram and stuff, like people see through that, like that authenticity. Did you listen to the latest Las Culturistas podcast with the girls
Casey
from Vish?
and
I felt like a lot of what they're saying is how I feel, like sort of that like special something about the housewives is sort of missing sometimes.
The Potomac has
except
it
for
right
Potomac,
now.
yeah.
Potomac has it. I mean, Potomac is on point.
Those
but like,
women are like, every single woman on that cast is bringing it. You know what I mean? Like. And like not in a manufactured way, just like who they are is just like interesting to watch.
Oh my gosh, watching Robin try to sexy dance in heels. You know what I mean? Like, and just like And like compared to Ashley, who's like doing her TikTok, I mean, how can you make up Ashley trying to buy a house with an LLC that she created with her soon-to-be ex-husband?
I know, and then saying that
like,
no, they haven't created it. Like, what?
I mean, and also, I don't know if you've seen it, but she goes to the divorce lawyer.
I saw that. And
she's like, so this isn't a good idea? And the lawyer's like, no.
It's like, no, I would not recommend that.
She was like, it was like she like was thinking about it for the first time. And it's like, Ashley,
I know.
What are you doing?
By the way, I loved that divorce lawyer.
Oh, she was great. And her wisdom of usually the man who, or the person who has the money wants to settle things quickly. That is life advice. Like if there ever was one, you know?
Yeah. Take care of yourselves, everyone.
I mean, and Robin's like, you know, and they mentioned this on Las Culturitas, like her outdoor like family fun day. It was like God. When it gets sad, like it's just like these women are supposedly have so much money.
No, but
and like what are we doing in a soccer field?
Money does not buy you party planning skills.
No, and Robin, she's just like, you know, she's just kind of like moving through life. And I think there's something really aspirational for me about that.
Yeah.
Because I get so just anxious and stuff like that. And there's such an ease with her.
Yeah.
You know, just like,
yeah.
Yeah. And even Mia, like she is cracking me up when they're like, oh, how are you? And she's like, oh, I'm fine. Why? And they're like, cancer? Yeah. So you don't have cancer? Like just totally just.
I know.
The
personalities of these women, like all of them, like they're grandiose, but they're also down to earth, and they're also so
just
funny.
Like on another planet.
Yeah.
There is nothing funnier than Mia talking about Chris looking at her, and they have that clip at the party. And Chris is looking like couldn't have been looking in the opposite direction anymore when she's dancing in front of him.
That is so funny. Like
I love a delusional housewife if they're not being too harmful, you know?
Yeah. So Sunday nights are on fire right now, everyone. Yeah, Potomac into Family Karma. This is what we have every Sunday night. Like, so tune in. You know, make it happen.
Rate, review our podcast.
Yes,
spread the word about the show and the podcast.
We are hopefully going to be having some pretty fun interviews coming up with some cast members. So stay tuned for that. And just like support the show. Like tweet about it.
Ask Bitch Sesh to cover it. Like, we have these.
I know. As I was listening to that Las Culturitas episode, I was like, I wish they would talk about Family Karma.
Yeah.
But they also like comment on Bravo's posts and tell them like, I love this show. We need a reunion. We need 15 episodes.
Need more promotion for it. It was interesting because I called them out because last Sunday they tweeted about Potomac in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like,
season premiere, hello.
Why isn't Family Karma like, you know,
front and center
in the tweet as well, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what's going on.
Who knows, but we're here to support it. You are too if you're listening. So thanks for that. And we will catch you next week for yet another recap. And that's it. Namaste, bitches.
Namaste, bitches.